Nice launch director and countdown. Pad is clear.
Launch director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
Ignition startup.
Ground gas closeout is complete.
Go for launch. Stage 2 is pressing for flight.
Big Gold is ready to launch.
Mission director, you have permission to launch.
That's 10,
9,
8, 7,
5,
4,
3,
2,
0. And liftoff. 5 rounds.
Enter. Enter. Estamos para ver. Tenemos. Hoy tenemos. Hoy tenemos sobre el lanzamiento de la misión Starlink-2-4. Tenemos este lanzamiento que es la base aérea de Vandenberg en la plataforma SLC-4 de Cabo Cañaveral. Bueno, de California en esta otra. En esta carga se enviará lo mismo. Esta vez serán 51 satélites de que se pondrán en la órbita baja terrestre por un Falcon 9 de la versión. Bueno, seguramente estamos al término 10 minutos, 10 minutos con 50 segundos para el lanzamiento. Y por el momento no se ha aportado, pero por el momento aún estoy esperando para la comunicación. Bueno, seguramente la primera etapa que se utilizará en este vuelo será la B1075, que ya seguramente dice de que investigar sobre esta etapa, pero aquí dice de que no ha tenido ningún vuelo, así que vamos a ver si es etapa nueva o no. Aquí no tenemos tanta información de este Vandenberg. Así que vamos a ver de qué tipo de misión, de qué tipo de etapa será. ¿Etapa nueva o etapa ya reutilizada? Bueno, ya sabes, va a aterrizar esta etapa desde la barcaza Officially of Course estar en el Océano Pacífico esperándolo. Muy bien, seguramente ya está iniciando el streaming. Vamos a abrir. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué misión tipo será? Bueno, ¿de qué tipo de primera etapa se va a utilizar en este vuelo? Está bien. Seguramente que al parecer tenemos una ventana de lanzamiento que va a casi a la misma hora. Bueno, unos minutos antes se va a lanzar en esta misión. Vamos a ver seguramente esta ahora será la activación de los satélites hasta 9 minutos después del lanzamiento. Bueno, al parecer será una etapa nueva porque aquí en el sitio de web de SpaceX no tiene ninguna etapa, no hay ninguna mención de ninguna etapa que haya ya lanzado antes, así que al parecer será un lanzamiento de una etapa nueva.
Nice launch check countdown. Pad is clear.
Principalmente
9, 8,
Launch auto sequence has
7,
started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed.
El grupo 5.2. Este es el segundo lanzamiento para el grupo de la capa.
Stage 1 is transonic. Landing lights have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Good morning,
Es el
everyone.
Starlink.
My name is Shiva, and I'm a space
Muy
operations
al parecer
engineer
es
here
etapa
at
nueva.
SpaceX, and I'll be your host for today's Starlink mission.
Bueno, vamos
This marks
hablando.
SpaceX's 5th launch of the year, our 204th of all time, and our first for the year from Vandenberg Air Force Base, which you can see on your screen. In some exciting Starlink news this week, Thor Industries announced it will integrate flat, high-performance Starlinks, which provide
al parecer
high-speed,
sí.
low-latency internet while in motion into several
Bueno,
of its
por la
RV
primera
brands
etapa sí
across
se
the
ve que
United
es
States this year.
nueva,
Carnival also announced it's
por el
implementing
momento por las
Starlink to
cosas no
provide
se ven
connectivity
si
to
sean
crew
nuevas
and
o no.
guests. Their fleet rollouts began last month when Carnival Cruise Line and AIDA cruise ships, and the company plans to expand Starlink to several of its other brands as well. So the next time you take a Carnival cruise or cruise around in an RV, you might be getting your internet from Starlink. Now, the weather and range are both green for today's launch attempt. We're proceeding with a T0 of 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. We're tracking no issues with the vehicles or the spacecraft, and we're just about 4.5 minutes to go for liftoff. We're standing by for the transporter erector to retract away from the vehicle, and the first step of that we will see is the clamp arms opening around the top of the second stage, right below the fairing. You can see they've begun to open around the second stage in preparation for the transporter erector or the strong back to recline. The transporter erector is that truss structure you see next to the vehicle. We use it to roll out to the launch pad and to route the propellants and electrical power to the vehicle in preparation for launch. It retracts away ahead of launch to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent.
Muy bien, al parecer todo va a ser como
Stage 1 lock
se
load
había
complete.
traído la torre de
And stage 1 POGO.
sujeción para el del Falcon 9.
With that call out, we have completed liquid
Estamos a punto de
oxygen
llegar al
loading
punto
on the
donde el
first
Falcon
stage.
9 va a tener su propio
And at this
botón de
point, we are
apretación.
fully loaded with both RP1 fuel and liquid oxygen oxidizer on the first stage. We're going to hear a
Cuando se
similar
haga
call
la
out on the second
presurización
stage
final de los
shortly
tanques
for
de
stage 2 lock
combustible y
load
de
complete.
oxígeno líquido.
We will be
Bien, ahí
attempting to
tenemos
recover
imágenes
our
de
first
la
stage today after launch. We're looking at a live view now of our drone ship, which is stationed off the coast of Baja California to catch our booster when it makes its way back home.
Bien, estamos a 1 minuto y 47 segundos para el lanzamiento y al parecer todos no hay ninguna señal de que se tenga que aportar la misión.
Should hear a call out shortly here for liquid oxygen loading complete on the second stage.
Stage 2 lock load complete.
There it is. And just taking a look at this rocket, you may have noticed that it is lacking soot. That's because the first stage is brand new for today's mission, flying for its first time. We will be attempting to recover it on the drone ship we saw earlier, and that reusability is what allows SpaceX to refly the most expensive parts of the vehicle and reduce the cost of access to space. Coming up, the next major milestone will be Falcon 9 transition to startup.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Muy bien, al parecer ya está.
That Falcon 9 is
Falcon
on
9 ya
internal
tiene el
power,
control de
and
la
its
cuenta
flight
atrás
computers
propia.
have
Vamos
taken
a ver,
control
ya
of the rest of the
iniciado a
launch countdown.
consumir la energía de sus propias baterías y hacer la presurización final para el
LDs go
lanzamiento.
for launch.
And there, the launch director has given their final go to proceed for today's launch attempt. So we're going to listen and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 51 Starlink satellites to space.
Starlink 5,
T-minus 30 seconds.
30 segundos. $20 segundos, vamos.
15 seconds.
15 segundos, ahí vamos.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Ahí vamos.
3, 2,
Posición
1.
de-
Engines full power. And liftoff. Total Starlink 2.4. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Abandonar ahora.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We're at T plus 30 seconds, successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch
Al
Complex
parecer
4
inicia su
East at
programa de
Vandenberg
giro.
at 7:43 a.m. Pacific time. We had some fantastic views from the ground, and now we're looking at a great view
Nominal power
from
and
the
telemetry.
first stage's onboard camera as we
Estamos a
pop through
punto
the
de
cloud
llegar
layer.
al punto de máxima presión aerodinámica, donde bajará la potencia de los motores para evitar la aceleración máxima y que se destruya a esa velocidad máxima.
Vehicle
Y cuando pase por el
supersonic.
punto de máxima
Now we're
presión
traveling
aerodinámica, de
faster
nuevo
than the speed of
acelerarán
sound.
los motores para que llegue a la velocidad
Max Q.
necesaria para escapar de la atmósfera.
And there we are through the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure. That's the
Donde
highest
vamos.
stresses that we'll feel during the flight. Now, we are about 1 minute away from several events back to back. The first of those will be MECO, that's main engine cutoff,
engine chill has started.
followed by a stage separation, and then SES-1 and fairing separation. So MECO is where we shut down all 9 of the Merlin engines in preparation
Bueno,
for
seguramente se
separating
hará la
the stages
separación.
at stage sep.
Bueno,
And
el
then
tiempo de
at
de
second engine
distancia
start
de la
number 1, we'll
separación de la
ignite the
primera
Merlin
etapa de
vacuum
desfoques
engine
es muy
on the
poco.
second stage. Shortly
Vamos a
after
ver qué
that,
pasa.
we will separate the fairing halves and return them to planet Earth while the second stage continues with our Starlink satellites to space. And those events back to back, MECO, stage separation, second engine start number 1, followed by fairing separation.
Muy bien, ahí vamos. Se va a hacer el mismo y después la separación y el encendido de segunda etapa. Vamos. Listo, ya está apagado los
Stage
motores y
separation
se hace ahí.
confirmed.
De hecho, la separación de la primera etapa.
MVAC ignition.
Se acaba de encender el motor de la segunda etapa. En unos momentos se hará la separación de los cofres. Muy
Fairing
bien, ya se
separation
separaron.
confirmed.
And with that, we had successful MECO stage separation. You can see the Merlin vacuum is ignited and even saw the fairing half there in the shot. We're looking at a live view
Ya
right
se
now.
acaba de
On the
desplegar
left-hand side of your screen is Falcon 9's
las
first
rejillas.
stage. We've deployed the grid fins in preparation for re-entry. On the right-hand side of your screen
Tenemos-
is Falcon 9's second stage. That's a shot of the
En estos
Merlin
momentos la
vacuum
primera
engine.
etapa está en modo de inercia hasta que llegue la
Now, those two
altura
fairing halves,
hasta
we
la
will be
cuarta
attempting to
y ya
recover
después
them
empezará a
once they come
bajar y
back to
adquirirá
planet
más
Earth
velocidad.
and use them again on a future mission. First stage has deployed its grid fins. You can see 2 of them on your screen. Those periodic bursts of white gas you're seeing are from our attitude control system. We're reorienting the first stage to get the engines pointed down for its next major milestone, which will be the entry burn.
Both stages are following a nominal trajectory.
Muy bien, vamos. Al parecer ya la
That
primera
call
etapa
out,
ya
that means that
está a una
both
altura
of
de
the
132
stages, the
kilómetros
first
de
and second
altura.
stages, are on the intended flight paths.
Y la segunda etapa ya
The first
está a
stage
una
at this
altura de
point is on a
156
parabola
kilómetros.
headed back towards our drone ship, which again is stationed off the coast of
Mientras
Baja
la segunda
California.
etapa aún le falta la mitad de la velocidad para que pueda ya estar en órbita.
The second stage, which is about a couple minutes into its burn, this
Aquí
burn
esta vez nos
lasting
dejarán ver
until
la separación de los
about T plus
satélites.
8
Más
minutes
bien
and 40
el
seconds,
despliegue de los
carrying our Starlink satellites
31
to orbit.
satélites.
Today's Starlink mission marks 204th mission for SpaceX overall and our 5th mission for this year. As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX. to provide high-speed and low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural
También ya se
locations
acerca el
around the
punto
globe.
del encendido de reentrada, de que utilizará 3 motores, motor central y 2 laterales para que pueda disminuir y no pueda entrar a velocidad supersónica.
Both stages are still on a nominal trajectory.
You might have noticed that the first stage's altitude is decreasing. That makes sense because it's heading back towards our drone ship. Of course, I still love you. The first stage's next major milestone is coming up in about 20 seconds. That'll be the entry burn, where it'll light 3 of its Merlin 1D engines to slow down for atmospheric re-entry.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There is successful ignition of those 3 Merlin engines, this burn lasting about 20 seconds.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Successful shutdown of those Merlin engines. Major event on the first stage.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
The landing burn start, just after T+8 minutes.
Las casillas ya están iniciando a hacer su trabajo y empiezan a desacelerar dramáticamente la primera etapa.
Stage 1 transonic.
With that means the first stage is traveling near the speed of sound. We've got a few events coming up back to back here. First will be the landing burn on the first stage. That burn will continue until the first stage lands. During the landing burn, we'll also hear a call out for second engine cutoff number 1, or SECO 1, on the second stage.
Vamos.
Terminal guidance.
Ahí vamos.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Started a single Merlin engine on the first stage. We'll expect to see the landing legs deploy shortly.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Ahí vamos.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Successful landing of Falcon 9's first stage. You also heard a call out there for MVAC shutdown. Now, this landing marks our 166th overall landing of an orbital class rocket that includes both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. With that call out from the guidance team, the second stage is in the nominal or intended orbit. The second stage is carrying our 51 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. And with that, we are going to bring our webcast coverage to a close for today. Now, if you're interested in following along with our mission, we're going to keep our nets live on YouTube. And of course, you can check out our social media platforms for confirmation of Starlink deploy. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you for another launch soon.
Muy bien, todo por hoy. Vamos a estar conscientes para el siguiente lanzamiento que ahora sí se vaya a lanzar porque el mes pasado, pero el aborto se provocó por culpa de los vientos fuertes, de que estaban los bien fuertes en la altura alta, de que el siguiente intento de lanzamiento de la misión Electron de la misión Vigila East of Launch Low o Me gustan los lanzamientos de Virginia. Es el 23 de junio, ya dentro de 4 días. Vamos a ver. La fecha de lanzamiento será a las 5 p.m. hora de México. Ahora sí vamos a ver si se va a lanzar. Bueno, esto es todo por hoy, así que adiós.
Nice launch director and countdown. Pad is clear.
Launch director entity, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
Instant startup.
Ground gas closeout is complete.
Go for launch. Stage 2 is pressing for flight.
Big gold is ready to launch. Mission director. You have permission to launch.